So what I'd like to do in order to teach you a little bit more of the blueprint stuff is create some interactable objects, very simple ones inside of Blender. Now there's some really powerful tools that connect Unreal Engine directly to Blender, which I love, and so it's almost like having Blender inside of Unreal Engine. So you have to create a GitHub account. You can also just do a search for um, Blender to Unreal, and then inside of here you click download our new Blender add-ons. It gives you all the explanations you need. Then part of it is like it goes through the GitHub stuff. Really, if you just sign into your GitHub account, what you get is, you can see here there's all this different stuff. So what I want is the Blender tools. I'm going to click on that, and you can see here it says it kind of gives you an explanation of the documentation and all this good stuff. I'm just going to download this zip, and you'll see here that it has the Rigify and it has send to Unreal 1.41. And I have the newest version of Blender, so I'm going to go with this one. And if you click on this, what we're looking for is essentially the zip file. So this send to zip, and so I'm going to just kind of left click on that to download it, and I'm going to go show and explore, or show and folder rather, and mine's on the downloads. I'm just going to throw it on the desktop for ease of use. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and open Blender. So I'm going to go over here to File, or I'm sorry, Edit, Preferences, and on the side here you'll see Add-ons, and I'm going to go to Install, and it'll let me navigate to my desktop, and you can see here I have Send to Unreal. I'm going to check that on so that it installs. Now you'll notice there's a little glitch in my user interface, and that's it being loaded in. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save Preferences here. Alright, so let's jump back into our game that we've been working on for a while. And we're going to go up to the top here. Now, if you don't know where your project settings are, you can go to Edit Project Settings here, Plugins. You can also go to Settings here and then click on Plugins here, whatever is easier for you. Now, I think this is, we've been using it 4.24 for our learning example, but if you have that, or I think, or above, this should work fine. I'm just going to type in Python here, and I want to enable Editor Script plugin here, and I'm just going to hit yes, and then I'm going to restart it. Let me pause it and I'll let that restart. The next one we want to do is just make sure that you have Editor Scripting Utilities on as well. So let's enable that, save, let's restart. Alright, with both of those enabled, we want to go here to Settings, and we're going to go to Project Settings. And I'm going to type Python here. And what we just added will bring in this plugins, our Python section here. Now we want to enable remote execution. This is what's going to create the connection between Blender and Unreal. So let's go to our editor preferences here. I'm going to type in CPU. And it says use less CPU when in background. I'm going to uncheck this because that's going to give us a little bit more power going between it, and sometimes there's hangups. Alright, so let me go into my level 01. And I'm going to dock this to the right, and then my Blender to the left. Now notice that it created these different sections here, and these map to the way that Unreal is set up. So for example, here's this cube. I'm going to drag this and just drop it in my mesh collection here. And notice another thing that it added was up at the top it says there's pipeline import or export send to Unreal. And I'm going to allow access here. And so a couple things are happening in the background here. We have it created the initial connection between the two. And then in our content section here, if we go down to we look through our folders, there's a new one that kind of popped up. It says Untitled Category, Untitled Asset, and you can see this is a cube. So let's see if I rename this. In here, let's see, to let's say floor. And I do pipeline, export, send to Unreal. You can see a new cube appeared because now it thinks that this is a new asset, and I can actually delete this old one. So let me grab this and drop it inside my scene. And I'm going to delete the floor that's here. And I'm going to place this. Oops, let me just place this. Let's say underneath my character. Let's hit F to focus on this. And in here, what I'm going to do is, let's zoom in. And I'm going to hit 3. Oops. That hid that mesh section. Sorry, I'm going to hit Tab and go to Edit Mode. Now, if your Tab menu, sorry, I'm switching gears from Maya to Blender. So what I like to do is go to Preferences in here, and then, so this is kind of how I'm going to do all my modeling in the future videos. You can see there's a bunch of different things here. There's key mapping. I turn on toggle on Tab for Pi menu. So now when I hit Tab, it lets me switch between these different modes. All right, so I'm going to press 3. That lets me select this face. I'm going to hit G and then Z to just move that up on the Z axis. I'm going to hit Control S to save that. And let's give that a second. And actually, I don't necessarily need to save this just yet. So let me just go to Object Mode. And let's select our Move tool. And I want to right click, Set Origin to Geometry. And let's say we move this down for a second. Now inside of here, we can always just do pipeline here, export, and then send to Unreal. And you can see now that it's actually updated this model inside of here. So, a couple things to take note of. So if I hit Alt-P to play this, you can see that it automatically comes in, which is nice with collision. All right, I think that's it for this tutorial.